course, remembering this, that the prediction of the capture or the retaking of Attu was only supposed to take 2 or 3 days, and it lasted for 20 days.
It was strictly an infantry matter, and the big job was where the Japanese had already got themselves settled, and they knew where they were, and they were fully prepared with their hand grenades and things of that nature.
There's a lot of sacrifice on both these islands by both sides in these really unforgiving conditions of weather. People struggled against this for these very remote locations.
For Attu lies but 750 miles from the great Japanese naval base at Paramushiri. With the barrage of a battleship's guns, United States forces move in to drive the Japanese from rocky, fog-bound Attu, strategic island in the Aleutian chain. Troops waiting for the 0 hour. Time to go over the side.
It was very costly. So for the number of Japanese that were casualties, the number of American casualties was almost as high.
And from there, the Japanese just kept coming up the ravines and kept just stacked on top of each other.
They had grenades wrapped around their forehead or around their chest. It was just a wild situation, I think. When you see people fall, it does something to you. It's not, I keep thinking these people, they either have wives or they have parents. How different are they from us? They're wearing a different uniform.
These islands are mostly what it was like 75 years ago, so the historic preservation of the battlefields is really pretty high compared to most battlefields of World War II. when you learn about some of the history of the area, I think you understand things in context.
Stepping on Attu, where my mother grew up, that was probably the highlight. I never ever thought I'd do that.
That was so special to be able to have the cross there for the church, for the Attuans, and to pray for them, all those who never got to see their island again.